Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier and this is the Piracy Show. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about the PvP system in Star Citizen, or rather, the get murdered for a pittance of credits just because you happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time system. Now, of course, PvP is something that is meant to evolve through the game's development. Every time we iterate, we look, we see, we say, hey, we like this, hey, we don't like that. We give feedback, CIG makes some changes. Now, currently, with the current system, the mission running system, the most expedient way to kind of do these things is to go land at the mission site, of course, pick up the package, then deliver it to the destination if it is that type of mission. Generally, there are quite a few. Now, the problem with this, of course, is if someone were to come in right behind me trying to do the same mission, then I'm shit out of luck because I am now outside of my spaceship and probably going to die if someone else happens to turn up at this moment and just say, hey, I'm trying to complete that mission too. We are in competition. I have an advantage over you. I'm going to take advantage of this situation and kill you. It tends to happen. Now, of course, the PvP system isn't controversial at all. Everybody loves it, and no one's ever debated it. Yeah, wouldn't that be funny if that was true? But the truth is that the system as it currently stands really doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, first of all, here we have this innocent lab on Yellow, which I'm sure manufactures teddy bears for orphans, which I am now trying to deliver to Grimhex or someplace on Delamar, actually. But when I go out and I accept this mission, it says you get 340 credits to do this, but this mission is open to everyone. So anybody could come along at any moment and just say, well, open fire. I want to complete the same mission you're doing. So we are now in competition and I must now attack you. Now, if I'm particularly lucky, no one will actually happen to come along and I will simply be able to deliver the goods and reap the rewards such as they are. But to me, it doesn't feel like it makes sense. Because let's say you are the, teddy bear manufacturing corp on Yella, and you ask someone to come and make a pickup and do a delivery. Now, the idea behind it is, the basic idea is that, by putting this contract out in the open, and it's constantly open until someone fulfills it, is that this will drive player competition, therefore driving player conflict. And when you sign up for one of these missions, clearly you are running the risk of running into another player. So you're kind of opting into the possibility of PvP. Yet the rewards are, well, frankly, kind of laughable. Now, I don't know what the going street price is for a teddy bear, but I'm sure it's probably such that 340 credits is less than justified. I mean, think about it from a logical sense. Let's say you're the Yella Teddy Bear Manufacturing Corp and you want to keep your business on the DL. Does it really make sense to have shootouts outside of your teddy bear factory or outside of your delivery locations where your customers are? No, it does not. Now, risk is part of PvP. I mean, it's kind of something that has always also been built into the game since day one, but it's also been a contentious point because there are obviously players out there who would like to maintain their interactions with other players at the absolute bare minimum. So it kind of creates a situation where it's like, who do you try to please? And to be honest, I mean, even though I am someone who looks forward to the PvP, who, kind of thinks on that track and enjoys it, I have to acknowledge the fact that even though it isn't to my liking, I would say that there's probably a large majority of players out there who would like to see that risk somewhat minimized. But at the same time, I think that PvP should be rewarding. And it should be, the reward should be something more in line with the risk. If you're flying around on, let's say, 100,000 equivalent UEC spaceship, and you're running the risk of having it and yourself blown to smithereens at any moment, 340 UEC for a mission? That doesn't seem right. Realistically, when you look at the missions that we get right now, the rewards would obviously be a lot more palatable if there was a situation where once you pulled the mission off the board, no one else could get that mission. And then you're simply a functionary, you're running at, let's say, a much greater reduced risk. I mean, you can still run into players in the open world, and then whatever happens is whatever happens, but you're running at a far reduced risk. And logically, it makes sense. I mean, how many criminal organizations really advertise their, the work that they have available openly on a public message board? It's like so let's say you happen to visit Bogota, Colombia. I highly doubt that there's going to be a guy standing in the airport right in the entrance for departures waving a package around saying, I've got a kilo of Colombian sugar right here, and if anybody's on the flight to New York and would like to make a little extra money, you can just kind of take this and stick it where the sun don't shine and deliver it to a buddy I have waiting at the other end. Anybody? Ma'am, you look like you have plenty of room. No, of course they don't do that. That's not a real thing. So, I mean, to have these missions, I think, especially on a public messaging board, I think that they should be discrete transmissions that you receive, like, hey, I've got a package over here. I need it moved over there. This mission is for you. However, if you want to take the risk and you want to run a much higher risk, there are certain situations that are going to pop up. Like, let's say you get a distress signal and it's a Starfarer and it's currently under attack, or a Caterpillar, whatever. It's currently under attack. Now you fly to that situation. Now there's different ways that you can resolve this. Let's say you're the hero character and you go in and you save the Starfarer, then you get a considerable bounty for doing that. Let's say you are the pirate character and you go in there, you want to knock down the Starfarer and you want to take out your competition, but then you're basically getting whatever that Starfarer holds and possibly parts of the Starfarer depending what you bring to the battle. But then that's something that's public. Everyone sees it. It's something that happens in the moment. And so everyone who really is after that kind of goes in competition for that objective and that possible reward. Whereas, PvP would still remain an option in the open world. As people find each other in the open world, things can happen. But for missions like this, they should be quiet. They should be, kind of hidden away and tucked away from public view. And it shouldn't be just a question of, oh, hey, here's my teddy bear factory on Daymar where I'd like you to pick up, teddy bears for delivery to Yella. And anybody can just show up and just have a shootout outside of my teddy bear factory. That's okay. That's the way we operate, We don't like to keep a low profile. We like everyone to know what's going on at our location. Now, I'm definitely somebody who wants to see world PvP and who looks forward to that sort of thing. I mean, currently, even Scum, we have our own Conan Exile server, and it is a PvP server because we enjoy that excitement. We enjoy that added thrill, but we all know that that is not always for everyone, and there are plenty of people out there who would prefer not to engage in that level of competition. At the same time, I still think that because Star Citizen was kind of booked as a open world PvP game, it was originally stated that this was one of the objectives and this is how they wanted it to play out. I think that for the people who want to kind of hunt each other down, who want to use sensors and track each other down and possibly get into conflict that way, that option should still be there and should always remain. However, when you're talking about low reward missions like this, putting players into direct conflict over basically peanuts really doesn't make a lot of sense. And lore-wise, it doesn't make sense either. Now you might say, well, you know, that's weird coming from a guy who basically just blew up somebody's Mustang. You know, that was a dick move. And you're right. It was a dick move. But it illustrates the point. Like, there was no chance. He was already parked on the planet outside of his ship. There was no chance. And it's stupid that that exists. I mean, I think that PvP should encourage at least the possibility of some type of interesting contest, some type of interesting conflict between players, you know, something that, you know, isn't going to be resolved within a couple of seconds, something that requires, you know, these two players to then, you know, clash in an actual battle and not in, you know, just some, oh, wrong place, wrong time, splat, you're dead, haha, and then I take your stuff. To me, that's not interesting. I much prefer the idea of, you know, these spontaneous events happening within the system. Now, of course, the game is still in its infancy, and a lot of the systems that would be required to kind of make these events occur have not been invented yet. They're just not here yet, so, you know, you might say it's kind of foolish to ask for these things when the systems that would support them do not exist yet. But I think that this is something that should be explored. These are questions that should be asked, because I think that, you know, player versus player conflict should be not entirely an opt-in thing. Like, I still feel that there's room for the hunting of players in the open world, but, you know, when you want to bring players into conflict, when you want to bring players into competition and see how it all shakes out, I think that the rewards should justify, you know, the expenditure. I don't know why I injected myself there. Must have hit the wrong key, but I feel that if there's a mission that just all of a sudden arrives and it's, oh my god, there's a caterpillar that's under attack, then the possibilities from that are that, yeah, you're gonna get possibly a caterpillar, possibly an entire caterpillar's full of cargo that you can sell. That, to me, is something that would drive a lot of competition and drive PvP in a much more positive way, because it would be, people would see it and they go, oh, do you want to risk it? Let's risk it. Let's go. Let's take it on. Or, you know what? I'm really close to achieving my objective. I realize that the payouts aren't that high doing what I'm doing, but I'm just going to keep on trucking this way because, you know what? It's chill and I enjoy it. I think that that's a system that would, I don't know, I feel that it would probably be a lot more viewed a lot more positively in a lot of people's eyes, and it would still keep that world PvP alive and possible. Anyways, that's the show for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. Oh, sorry about your Mustang, dude.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.